let's talk about the electric G Wagon. Now, I've said this before, I'm not a fan of electric cars, but I really love the G Wagon. G Wagon, it's iconic. The look hasn't changed. It looks big, it looks rough, it looks off-roady, and it's really expensive. It's a Mercedes. And it's really well built. I mean, the exterior is really tough, and the interior is really high quality, which is, I guess, since it's a Mercedes, makes sense. But yeah, let's talk about the electric G Wagon. Now, generally, electric cars have a lot of issues, and especially really expensive electric cars have a lot of issues they have to face. The range, the battery degradation, the charging speeds, a lot of practical issues depending on the country and the place. But the G Wagon, honestly, the G Wagon might be able to pull off the electric thing, because the G Wagon isn't really something you buy for any specific practicality. It's you just buy it for the badge, not even the badge, the G Wagon name. It's a badass truck. It's a truck, and it doesn't look like any other Mercedes. It's really popular. Everyone loves the car. It's got a lot of power, and even the electric version, it has power. 570 something horsepower, I think. But yeah, it has a lot of power and some features concerning an electric car. But yeah, they didn't do all the fancy electric stuff in the design language, which I think is a great move, because electric cars, you see them have a specific design language, and I guess it's to make them stand out, but some of them aren't really the best designs. They look a little boring to me, a little plain. But the G Wagon looks exactly like a G Wagon on the outside and the inside, which is a fantastic move by Mercedes. Because the thing about the G Wagon is the look of the car. That's the only thing that people actually care about. And yeah, they care about the engine too, but it's mainly the look, the presence the G Wagon has. And putting all that together, and it's, considering it is a G Wagon, I don't think people are going to mind it being electric. Now, range is actually an issue. The range doesn't have a great range, because honestly, probably because of the design. I mean, it looks like a bus, and there's no aerodynamics in this car, in this truck, in this SUV. I mean, off-road SUV. There's no aerodynamics, and it has a lot of power, but I think it could work. I mean, yeah, yes, you won't be able to go really far, huge distances or anything without charging, and charging is an issue, but I don't think people who have G-Wagons, who are going to be buying G-Wagons, are going to have a problem with that. I don't think the G-Wagon is probably going to be a secondary car for most people, something just to show off. I mean, the car's really expensive, and even the other G-Wagon is really expensive, and so yeah, I don't think the people who are going to be wanting to buy these cars will have a problem with it. Now, the resale value, that might be a bit of an issue. I mean, it's not going to have a great resale value like the gas-powered G-Wagons, the petrol ones, for obvious reasons. But still, compared to other electric cars, I think the value will hold on a bit longer as compared to most, because it's a G-Wagon. Just the look at the car is enough. And honestly, you cannot tell the petrol G-Wagon from the electric G-Wagon apart. Now, why they made this electric G-Wagon? Well, that I guess it's probably a trial run to see how people will react, and if the G-Wagon badge is enough to make people buy the electric versions, because electric cars, not everyone's a fan of them. And yeah, a car like the G Wagon, that could actually work, being an electric car. Now, there is no sound, that sucks, but it's an electric motor, what can you do? But They kept everything else and they had a few stuff which the other G Wagon can't do, which I guess somewhat makes up for it. But hey, when you see it out on the road, everyone thinks it's a G Wagon. No one thinks it's an electric G Wagon. So that's a good point. And yeah, I think this is these kind of cars being electrified this way might actually work and be able to convince people to try EVs. Now, obviously, the G Wagon's range is a bit of an issue, but still, trying to make cars that look exactly like the gas-powered ones into petrol is a good way to try and convert some people. I mean, it's like some people like the G Wagon, then they might consider other electric cars or electric SUVs. So it's a good gateway for manufacturers to try and convince people to buy their electric cars. And the G Wagon's a good example of how you can do that.